Hello, everyone, and welcome to its analytic first podcast of 2026. I am Oluwase, your Debody, popularly known as Significant Shay, and I'm genuinely excited about today's conversation because this is a struggle almost every one of us can relate to. Yeah, we have plans, we have deadlines, we have goals, and so many things that we want to do. But one way or the other, we get to postpone those things that matter the most. Yes, this is an interesting topic we will be having today: procrastination, how we can move from procrastination to productivity. Yes, procrastination is not a laziness problem, it is often a clarity, structure, and mindset problem. And guess what? Who better can we have this conversation with than someone who has helped individuals and teams move from chaos to clarity, from delay to delivery, and from intention to execution? I'm speaking of no other. Who will be joining me today here at the first podcast of the year is Josephine Bosa, a certified senior Scrum Master and Agile coach who has helped several professionals and thousands of individuals and organizations build systems that drive productivity consistently. And today we'll be unpacking to you the practical strategies that will help you move from procrastination to productivity. And these are strategies that you can immediately begin to apply in your life, in your career, and to your goals. So, Josephine, welcome to Ten Analytics Podcast. We are so glad to have you today.
Thank you so much for having me, Shay. I'm so excited and honored to be here. Thank you so much. What's cooking? What's happening?
Fantastic. I mean, so happy to have you, Josephine, and I'm sure we are going to
Yeah.
have really swell time. So I'm gonna do this. It's something I recently developed. I'll just pick it up. I'm just gonna say a few things about you. Starting, I mentioned some very few things, but I want our audience to know a little more. So I'll try my possible best. If you want to blush, feel free to blush. If you want to pick, I mean, it's clear. I'm giving you your flowers, literally. So, guys, in the next 1 minute, about Josephine that I would want you to know. So please listen very well and catch all of the reaction. So Josephine Bosa is an AI augmented project manager. She's a certified senior scrum master and an agile coach with over 10 years of experience spanning fintech, edtech, and digital transformation. She has trained over 1,000 professionals and students in project management and agile delivery, which has helped individuals and organizations build real world capability beyond theory and certification. All right, Justin's work sits at the intersection of agile leadership, AI integration, and business transformation, where she helps teams move from process driven delivery to outcome driven impact. Wow, that sounds powerful. She's the founder of Elite Film Creative, a consulting brand that is focused on ethical innovation, operational excellence, and sustainable business system. And Josephine is deeply passionate about mentorship. She currently works with FCMB UK while also leading high impact consulting, training, and transformation initiatives across Africa and globally. Please, can we just put the hands together? I mean, just put your hands together.
This is absolutely beautiful. Thank
Yes, well,
you. Thank you so
that's
much. I'm
how
honored.
feeling that. Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel when you get your bio being read? How do you feel?
Okay, so I just feel I feel excited. I'm not. I'm gonna be sincere about that. But again, I just feel like there's so much more to do. There's so much grounds to cover, and we're just getting started. So I'm just grateful for what has been done, but there's still so much more to do. Thank you very much for all of the beautiful accolades.
Yeah, fantastic. Indeed, there's so much more to be done, and we are rooting for you from here. So, just in today, it's a very interesting topic. Everybody, literally anyone, can relate with. And before I do, I want to everybody listening to me right now an honest question. Yes, you have those to do. You have those to do lists that you had last week that are still staring at you right now. And you know, those things matter, but one way or the other, you've not been able to do it. Okay, you are not alone. Today we will help you and unravel why you act that way and how you can act better moving forward. So my first question to you, just pay, is many people think procrastination is laziness, right? And from your agile coach, what is procrastination really? What is procrastination? Let's start from there. I mean, from definition.
Okay, so I don't think procrastination is laziness, as a lot of people will, assume or say. I think it's about, working on the wrong things, doing the wrong things for the wrong reason. So if I'm just going to define it just a little bit more straightforward and from a perspective that a lot of people will understand, I feel like it's a delay in making vital decision or high impact decision, usually marked by busyness. So it's about, at the end of the day, we're maxing business and avoiding making high impact decision. And the bottom line is there's no action. We're talking, we're doing a lot of talking, we're doing a lot of tasks, we have a lot of things going on, but we're not making that decision and we're just maxing it with business. And in Nigerian parlance, we'll call it forming busy. Everybody's just forming activity, but nobody's putting action to words. So yeah, that's what I'm going to define as procrastination.
Fantastic. Wow. I mean, I like the fact it hits hard and it drives home the point where people are forming activity, forming business. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you very much. I think a quick question just to ask, and this would be Agile. I mean, tell us about your first point of contact. What made you go into Agile? Because what you have to do as an Agile coach has a whole lot to deal with productivity in our conversation today. So tell us about your one into Agile. Yeah, Agile delivery.
Okay, so for me, the entry into Agile it was not premeditated. I started my career journey as a content writer, digital marketer, and then I, majored more into content writing. At some point, I worked for an organization, an edtech, that wanted me to start writing content around Scrum. And that was new to me. I was like, oh, Scrum, this is interesting. Let's, find out about it. And I found out that, okay, this is good. It aligns with my soft skills at the time. And again, my personality tends towards leadership. So I felt like this is also interesting. And one more thing that made it stand out for me, and I was like, okay, I need to pursue this even more in depthly, is the fact that I wanted to do tech. So the whole hula baloo about tech. Everybody wanted to do tech, and I every other aspect of tech is hard. I'm just going to admit it. Well, for me, I couldn't do cybersecurity. I couldn't do web development. I mean, it's just hard, data analytics, and this is not raining on the parade of whoever is into this. Actually, I admire you guys. So I looked at the easiest way to tech, and I saw that, okay, Scrum is it, and I decided to get to know more about Scrum. And I found out that along the way, I found out that Scrum was just an aspect of project management. And over the years, I've now, majored into project management as a whole, and of course, agile project management to be very specific. So that's how I got into tech. And here we are, we're still, moving forward.
Wow. Wow. So from being a content writer, got to writing about it piqued your interest, and from there you always wanted to go into tech anyways, and you don't want the coding part. Yeah, interesting. So I mean, this is something for everybody listening, that there's a place for you in tech. You don't want to do the cybersecurity, you don't want to write a line of code. Maybe you can also, I mean, from listening to this podcast, you could just check out what Scrum is about, and who knows, industry might be one day your agile coach. But that's really interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. Now, following on this question is, we see several times how intelligent people, I mean, people who are capable, they still struggle to get so much and to get started. Why do you think so? People who are intelligent, let's say it's something very easy. So I know what I need to do, and I literally believe that I can do this thing. It could be, let me give an instance. I'm to show up every day to shoot content. I want to be a content creator. I know that. I know what I need to say. I mean, I'm intelligent when I say it. I feel I'm intelligent. I'm capable to do it, but I still struggle to get ahead. Why is that so?
Hmm. I think that's a very important question that a lot of people are dealing with. Thank you so much for asking that question. So for me, I think the major problem that we could touch on a lot of things. For me, the major problem is overthinking. A lot of intelligent, a lot of smart people overthink a lot. And I'd like to borrow a leaf from the example you use, which is content creation. And I think it's the big thing right now for a lot of young people, and even depending on your age bracket, doesn't really matter. So most intelligent, smart people overthink, and overthinking is like that big guy that opens the door to every other thing. It opens the door to fear. It opens the door to judgment. You're too harsh on yourself. So let's say you do a video and you're just overthinking. Oh, it's not good enough. It's not bright enough. It's not clear enough. I'm not on point, and you're just being too over judgmental of yourself. And then there's this thing about overthinking opening the door to fear of success, fear of failure. Oh, what if this thing nobody likes it? What if it's cringe? What if I don't have enough accolades? What if nobody wants to listen to me? What if I don't even know so much? So there's a lot of what if, which is where that overthinking comes into play. So I think that's the main problem of intelligent people. And at the end of the day, it's just about being audacious and say, you know what, I don't care how it is. There's a process to everything. I'm just going to put it out there. So if intelligent and smart people can, stop being too harsh on themselves or too hard on themselves, just give yourself a break. I mean, everybody is learning. Like in Agile, we talk about, or Scrum, we say empiricism is one of the things about Scrum. You learn by experience, and we're just, everybody's just winging this thing called life. So don't overthink. Just do it. Just do it. Which is Nike. Just do it. So yeah.
I love this part, just to do it. And this is very true. This is very true. Even talking about this personally, and you see what's happening. You want to do something, you know you can. And like you said, intelligent people, we all just overthink. This is not perfect enough. We were striving for perfection and we don't want to put it out there. If I do this, no, 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 no. Of that, we were just held back to where we are and would not go ahead. And I love what you said. We just have to be audacious. We just have to put it there and know that everybody is just showing up and doing their best. So go ahead. And if you do not do your best, you won't have need for improvement. So just go ahead and do it. Wing it. That's the word. Guys, did you hear that? Wing it. What you have to do, you're intelligent, you're not overthinking, go ahead and do it. And then tomorrow you can always make improvements from what you already have. Thank you. I love the the aspect of the conversation. So let me ask you now this question: have you at any point in time mission? Yes. And how were you able to navigate that part of your life? Were you at any point in time struggled personally with procrastination?
Yeah, so actually, I don't think anybody. Well, I'll speak for myself. This is my opinion. I don't think anybody actually outgrows procrastination, because it shows up at different level. Whether it's an entry level in terms of your career, at the mid level or at the senior level. At the entry level, I think it's about fear. I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to speak up. At the senior level, it's about having a lot of tasks, a lot of priorities, a lot of things to do. At the mid level is about tasks. There's so much to do, so much to get done in a very short time. And at the senior level, it's about decision making, having to make the right decision. Some people just tend to avoid decision making because that's the major thing at the senior level. So it shows up at every level you are. I don't think you can run away from it. Then the question is, how do you deal with it? So for me, the best way to deal with decision is not about motivation, because I think a lot of people still get motivated and go back to what it is. So for me, it's about decision clarity. Okay, it's not about Maguire to fast fire. Pardon my French, but that's not what it is right now. We're looking at ways at which we can, get away from this whole procrastination thing. So for me, it's about decision clarity. So what is decision clarity? Is about knowing what to do, when to do, and how to do it. It's about prioritizing your tasks, because everything can be important at the same time. Our daily lives is saddled with a lot of things, not just career, but the things you do daily, and everything is begging for attention. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Look at me. So, but it's about taking a pause and saying what is important now. It's a noun thing. What? So if I have 15 tasks, all the 15 tasks can be important at the same time. I have to prioritize. And that brings me to the prioritization technique that I use, which is called Moscow. So there's a must have. What are things that I must have? What are things that I should have? What are things that I could have? What are things that I would not have? So if you prioritize your tasks, you would know what are non-negotiables. It's a must that you get these things done, and you know the things that okay, I've done the non-negotiables. If I still have ample time, I'm going to focus on the should have, the things that I could take on. So it's about clarity. Once you have clarity in terms of purpose, in terms of tasks, it now takes you to productivity. You become productive, and by the time you become productive, you tend to create value. So for me, that's how I did. I tend to prioritize. Everything can be important at the same time.
Mm, thank you. You mentioned something. I want you to say it again. I didn't capture it quite well. Moscow. I mean, I know you said should, must have, should have, could have, or would have. But could you say that again? Let's get it clear.
Yeah, so I have a prioritization technique, and it's called Moscow, Moscow. And so the M is a must have. So what are the things that are must have, that they are non-negotiables? And then the things that you could have, okay? The things that you could have, if you've dealt with your must have, there are things that could come into your tax. That's fine. The should have and the will not have. So if you're able to categorize your tax in using this prioritization technique, then you know what are things that you could focus on at a time.
Okay. Much. And also, you mentioned something with regards to decision clarity that everybody needs to identify from at their various end. What is that thing I need to do? How do I need to do that, and when? If we're able to answer those questions honestly, then it's going to help us dealing with procrastination. I got that as well. Okay, me level unlock more. Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Now I want to ask this question. Let's bring it back to a bit of agile. I mean, even when you speak, you just realize that you are literally living, speaking, communicating, talking, everything as what you are already. You're a living example of what it is.
Oh my, yeah.
Now we know agile works for teams. Yeah? People talk about it, and agile team. You hear about so many information gens. With teams, agile, you're always moving, you're always adjusting to changes, this, that, etc. So how can individuals apply these agile principles or some of these agile principles to personal lives? And when you're speaking, you also made mention about one agile principle. It was every something you mentioned. Yeah, but how can individuals apply these agile principles in their personal lives? Yeah.
This is actually a very, very good question. Thank you for, pointing me to this direction. So for individuals, I think usually I tell my students and say that agile management is life management, or even project management is life management, because everything we're doing, our lives is also a project. All right. And you're like a project manager for your life. So when you want to bring agile into your individual lives, I would say agile is a mindset. It's about a mindset shift. It's about having a superior knowledge of doing things. Now, agile is like a modern way of doing things. Is a shift from, oh, I understand that there's a traditional way of doing things, but then there's a modern way of doing things. Oh, this way is rigid, but agile is saying we can be flexible about it. It's a shift in mindset in terms of something that is manual, but agile is bringing automatic or automated way of doing it. And of course, with the advent of AI. So agile is saying you have to have a shift in your mindset. Most of us have, a default in terms of we're rigid in our ways. And then you hear people say, well, I'm always like that. I'm used to doing things like this. Even though you're used to doing things like this, it's not the most efficient way of doing things. It's not the best way of doing things. It does not produce the best results. So for individuals, I would always say that whatever you're doing, it's in agile, we optimize the whole process. So you look at your workflow, your process, the things that you're currently doing. How can you remove waste? How can you eliminate waste? The things that takes the manual strengths, are there ways to automate it? AI is here. So the good thing about AI is that it takes away the admin tasks, the things that are mundane, that are recurrent, and it gives you ample time to focus on things that truly, really matters. So agile is saying shift your thinking. If there are processes that should not be there, let's remove it. It's not needed, because the question you want to ask yourself, if you have a bunch of things that you're doing and you look at it, is the question you should ask yourself is this adding value? What value, in what way? Is this adding value to my team? Is this adding value to my life? Is this adding value to my career? You know, at the end of the day, it boils down to value adding tasks. So agile is saying, let's be flexible. Let's be flexible to change. A lot of people are not flexible to change. Change, you know, how do I put it? Is it makes them uneasy? So if you have to be agile, you have to be open to changing things, using tools. There are things that, for instance, if you're used to driving manual cars, agile is saying, no, there's an automatic cars. You don't have to stress yourself. Do soft life, live soft life. So it's like a soft life way of thinking, which is what agile is about. And you can adopt it in your personal life, eliminating things that are waste, using tools to enhance your work, and just making sure that there are better ways to be more efficient.
I love that. I mean, agile practices is life improvement to make things better and more efficient. Yes, and you also mentioned about how change comes as unease for people. It's uneasy for many people, and it reminded me of something someone once said. He said, "Everybody wants to change. I mean, everybody loves change, positive change, but not many people want to change." We love it, but we have to say, okay,
Clock it.
all right, yeah, thank you
Yeah.
very much. You heard from Josephine, we need to be flexible. We need to be able to adopt the mindset that we can adjust to doing something in a better way, in a new way. Not this is how I used to do it. It has worked for the past 5, 6, 7, 10 years. But if there's a newer way for it to be done and done better, come on, go ahead and get it. Thank you very much for talking on that. And while you were speaking, this question just came into my head. It has to do with maybe sometimes can we mistake procrastination for other issues? For example, it could be burnout, you're feeling overwhelmed already, or even lack of clarity, which you've already talked about, but other issues like burnout and feeling overwhelmed. If so, can we differentiate, or what are the differentiation between these issues that happen and affect individuals personally and organizationally? Did you get me? Hello?
So
Yeah, hello, Josephine. Welcome back. Can you hear me now?
yes,
Okay,
I
fantastic.
can. So I think you've asked a very beautiful question. So for me, I actually think there's a thin line between procrastination and, burnout, which is because I think one is a resultant effect of the other. And how is that? So if you procrastinate, procrastination brings about the fact that there are unclear goals, ambiguities, things that are not unclear to you. So if you have series of tasks, and in those tasks, you are not clear on what to do, when to do them, how to do them, those things will bring about burnout. So let's picture it this way, okay? So let's say you wake up on a Saturday morning and you have a whole lot of things to do. You need to do your house chores, attend the wedding ceremony, and a bunch of tasks in between. Now, if you are not able to prioritize your tasks and have clear goals on what is really important and what is the time box for this event. So you wake up in the morning, you should say, okay, by this time to this time, I'm going to do my house chores. By this time to this time, I'm going to attend the wedding. I'm going to do this. So all your tasks are time boxed. If they are not time boxed, it doesn't bring about focus, which is discipline. And so you're burnt out, you're overwhelmed. So I feel like one is the resultant effect of the other. Procrastination leads to, if you don't have unclear goals, there's a lot of priorities, a lot of things begging for your attention. And if you're not able to structure or streamline your tasks and making sure that all your tasks are time boxed, saying from this time to this time, I'm going to clean my room. From this time to this time, I'm going to take care of my dishes. And you're placing timelines to your tasks and you are prioritizing those tasks. It helps you meet those goals. But if you have a bunch of things to do and you're saying, okay, oh, I have 15 things to do on Saturday, oh, and I'm going to get that done. That is not a plan. That will lead to burnout. You realize that there's still so much to do, and there's still important things to do that you haven't done. And there's a whole everything is just muddled up, and it just leads to burnout. I don't see no fine line because one is a resultant effect of the other. But yeah, I stand to be corrected.
I think that's true. I mean, come to think of it, yes, the resultant effect to the other, whereby you procrastinated, now you have so many things just into job one, do all of it after a while, so you're gone. So guys, listen, maybe just consider yourself. Perhaps you have just faith. If you're struggling with burnout, could it be that you've procrastinated and by piling all the things you need to do, piling them, and then suddenly there's a burst, boom, and now we're burning out. So it does it, you know what you need to do already. And this brings me to my next question. Yes. So some few days ago, I think about 2 or 3, 4 days ago, thereabout, I was listening to an agile coach mentioning something about, oh, in the world of agile, we have to do it. You split activities into sprints, if I got it correctly. So yes, so what's personal sprints and how can we use this to overcome or to tackle procrastination personally? So let's take it from the agile world this time around. Okay.
All right, fantastic. So having a personal sprint is fantastic. And let's even look at the word sprint. What does it mean? It came from athletes. If you're used to, watching the sports and the athletic part of sports where you see people run at a very short distance, right? Those short distance are sprints. Those particular athletes is it's very fast, is swift, and is intense. And in those kind of track and field events, it's not about who knows how to run the best or the most. It's about how fast can you run within a short period of time, and it's really really intense. And that's what sprint is in agile. It is small, it is fast, it's intense. So the thing about having a personal sprint is not doing so many things at the same doing so many things at the same time, is breaking things down. So we call it small iterations, doing small things one after the other, and then it compounds, like compounding interest, like saving $1 every day. And of course, at the end of the year, you're going to have so much more in store. So agile is saying, when you wake up in a day, you need to break your tasks into smaller goals. So we have this big goal. In Agile, we call it hierarchy of user stories. So we have OKR. OKR is usually the things that you set out to do in a year. So let's say I'm giving an analogy that, okay, you want to buy a house at the end of 2026, and let's just give an example that the house is $12,000. Now that is your yearly goal, and you and I know that, okay, if it is your yearly goal, that means you don't have that money. The money is not in your account at the moment, because it is, you're just going to outrightly come buy the house. Okay, so you made it a yearly goal. Now, how do you achieve it? Because most times our yearly goal looks so huge, it looks insurmountable. Now, the idea of agile is to break things down to the barest minimum. So if the house is $12,000, we're breaking that yearly goal into what we call KR. So OKR is the yearly goal, which is for the year. KR is the key results, which is breaking it down into quarters. And we have 4 quarters in a year. We have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And then because we have 4 quarters, $12,000 house, we break it down into quarters. That means you're supposed to have nothing less than $3,000 every quarter. Right? If I'm correct, yeah, $3,000 every quarter. I hope I'm correct with my math. And then we break that down into a monthly goal. So in one quarter, we have 3 months: January, February, March. So how much are you expected to make in one quarter? You're expected to make $1,000 in one quarter. Okay. And then we break that in a month, we have 4 weeks. So how much are you expected to have in your account in a month? So we're looking at each week, you're expected to have nothing less than $250 in your account. So you see that buying that house becomes realizable. It's a dream that you think you can easily meet because you've broken that task into the barest minimum. And that's what we do in agile. We don't try to do big things, because big things is what gives room for procrastination. It looks too big in your eye, you look overwhelmed, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do it later, and all of that, and that leads to procrastination. So for us in agile, we're saying let's break it down to the barest minimum. So what you need to do is your daily tasks. Oh, okay, today I need to do my house chores. House chores is big. What are you going to be doing in the house chores? What does the house chores entails? Okay, I'm going to wash my dishes, I'm going to put my clothes into the washing machine. Break it down. And if you're able to break that down, it looks more realizable. The goal is clear. You know what to do, you know when to do it again, you know how to do it, and it becomes achievable. And you then create using that. So that's what we do. We just do small things.
Wow, I mean, you break it into small things, beautiful and self-explanatory. So while you're saying, I just remember, so while you're in school, probably you're in school and you say, what are you going to do today? You say, I'm going to read my book. No, 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 that's big. Break it into what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to read chapter 1 and study on this and putting that. That way, we're applying sprint. Did you get that? So this is an agile practice that you can put into practice. Put it there, break it down little by little, small chunk, that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. My next question would be, let's look at, as a coach that you are right now, how do you deal with resistance? How do you deal with resistance to these practices, especially by team members who are not really productive? How do you deal with this resistance? Yes.
Okay, so that's a good question. And I think this I deal with this almost every day of my life as an agile project manager working in an organization. So yeah, so when there's always going to be resistance from team members, but one of the best ways I've been able to deal with it is to run a root cause, what I call a root cause analysis. Because when people are resisting whatever it is, tax change, an action, there is an underlying effect. There's something that is prompting that. So it's easy to judge someone based off the fact that, oh, I gave you this task, why are you not doing it? Oh, you're supposed to complete this in 30 minutes or in 1 hour, like they said, you're not getting this done. So one of the practical ways I've been able to get around that is to have a one-on-one conversation with this person. You want to know the why. What's the root cause? Why are you not doing what you expected to do, or why are you resisting doing the things that you should do? Now, in having that one-on-one conversation, is creating an environment that is non-judgmental, guilt-free. You're just trying to get to know the why, because there's always a motive, there's always a reason behind everything. Okay, so once you have that one-on-one conversation with the person, that's where you now activate your listening skills. Because I've come to understand that a lot of us want to communicate, but no one is giving room to listen. Because when you actively listen to people, you're able to understand what they're trying to say that they are not saying. So when I have that one-on-one with that person, I'm able to understand where they're coming from. I'm asking empathetic questions, because sometimes a lot of things can just be happening at the same time in the lives of people, and if you do not understand them, you cannot actually solve the problem. So I do that RCA, and after the RCA, we try again to break things down. Okay, we say, okay, this is what we need to do. I understand what you're saying, but here's how we need to take the steps. Why don't we probably take a few steps backwards? Do you want to reduce your tax? How can I help you? So the question I usually ask leading questions: how can I help you? How can we solve this? How can we go about this? Because sometimes the what you think is the right way to solving a problem may not be the right way for that person. So you need to personalize the solution. And when you allow people think about the solution, it makes them become more accountable to the solution. Okay, so usually that's what I do. And sometimes let's just not, let's be very clear here that sometimes that approach doesn't work 100%. So what's the next thing I do? I activate my communication level. So in communication, I understand that there's a right way to communicate, meaning if you do not properly communicate to people, you will not get the right result. So there are people you need to speak to, there are people you need to speak with, there are people you need to speak for, there are people you need to speak through. Okay. So when you speak to people, which is that one-on-one that I'm doing, it's like trying to give an instruction, and a lot of people really don't do well. They don't get to open up. So I activate this the next level of communication, style of communication, which is speaking through, meaning that there's somebody that maybe Josephine can listen to, because I'm trying to speak to you, but it's not working. Okay. So that means there could be somebody I can speak through to get to Josephine. So I decide to activate other escalation levels. So I say, okay, in this team, who does Josephine vibe well with? Okay, Josephine vibe well with Tola, or Josephine vibes well with the team lead. So I reach out to the team lead. I say, hey, I've been observing that Josephine is not doing so well for the past week. She's not meeting her goals and all of this stuff. Do you think you can speak to Josephine? Let's just find out what the problem is. So sometimes the people we need to speak through, we are busy speaking to these people, speaking with these people or for these people, and it's not yielding result. You need to speak through them. So understanding communication levels help you de-escalate resistance.
Ha. Wow. Oh my God. This looks like a master class. Just feel
Don't start. Shay, don't start.
about yes, just I mean, just was just speaking, and at a point that I was feeling like, oh, I think I understand communication everywhere now. But this is school cat as well. I'm like, okay, that one is not there. Okay, let's keep that aside. So you heard that first communication level. I mean, first in person had mentioned she would have conversation with that person, and there was something she mentioned which was very, very important, and I feel it really helped people opening up to you. She asked the question, how can we help you? I mean, you're faulted at this task. How can we help you? I mean, that allow you to get solution from the person's lens, okay? And then if that's not working, there are other ways. I mean, put on communication hats. There are various levels. Like maybe I need to speak to this person, or speak with that, which is part of what just happened, or speak through someone else. I mean, those are various styles that can be put into place. I mean, this is a masterclass. Let's start about maybe 3 minutes, but then speak with, speak through, speak for. Very, very important. And I believe leaders, team leaders, you can be able to take advantage of this. Use this, and it's really going to change. It's going to change a whole lot how you're able to effectively lead your team and get your team to be productive. Now, you also said something about accountability, and this is going to bring my next question. And how does stand-up principles, I mean, stand-up principle, we have about stand-up, especially these days, you go work from home or remote team, agile team to be very precise. We have about stand-up meeting, daily stand-up, etc. So how can stand-up principle, how can it be used for personal accountability?
I think that's a very beautiful question. So, bringing stand up principle into your life is like the word implies daily stand up. And ideally, the idea of it is like we stand up to have that meeting, because what we see which leads to procrastination in the workplace is that we have so many meetings that are really unnecessary, and meetings that have zero agenda, and we spend so much time repeating the same thing, and it's very unproductive and unactionable at the end of the day. So that's why we need to have stand up, because stand up is pointing at three things. And that's why we need to stand up, because literally picture it in your mind. If you're standing up to have a meeting, you don't have time to talk about a whole lot of things. Everybody just needs to get at it. And
Yes.
yeah, so basically it's just a 15 minutes meeting. Agile is big on time boxed, and when I say time box, it's about timelines. The major thing, again, I think leads to procrastination is that we don't put timelines to things and locking. So it's like she's saying, okay, I'm going to read this book for 30 minutes. Don't even do too much, 15 minutes, and just lock in for that 15 minutes, and it helps you meet your goal. So stand up is saying that for your personal life, you need to figure out, have that meeting with yourself and say, well, what did I do yesterday? What am I going to do today? And do I have any challenges? Because if you figure out what you did yesterday and you realize that you did zero, you did nothing yesterday, that would prompt you to say, okay, I need to double up. I need to cover up today. And I need to figure out what are the things that may pose as challenges to me that I need to take out of the way to enable me complete and deliver my tasks. So when we have stand-ups, literally even in teams, we are saying you need to be accountable for what you did yesterday. And if you didn't do anything yesterday, that's fine. No guilt zone, no judgment zone. You need to spill over what you did yesterday into today and commit to something. You have to commit to something. So in stand up, we're not saying, oh, don't worry, I'm going to wash the plates. No. What type of plates are you going to wash? Because there are different types of plates. We want to look at it. What type of plates are you going to wash today? And when are you going to wash those plates? Okay. And the stand up is also being truthful and very honest with yourself and saying, okay, if you say, oh, I'm going to read a book for 15 minutes, what are the things that would likely stop you from reading that book? You need to be truthful with yourself. And if you're able to pinpoint those things, you need to take them out of the way first so that you can actually meet that goal of reading the book within 15 minutes. So there's no blabbing on blabbing zone or ambiguity about stand up. Stand up is stand up. What you did yesterday, what are you going to do today? Because when people make commitments, they are bound to it, and then removing any challenges that may hinder, delivering those commitments.
Thank you. Thank you. I love how you were able to explain that, and you know how to talk about time boxing. And so I'm not even going to overflow time boxing again because you literally explained that while you were speaking. Fantastic. Stand up, very important. Yes, and that's true. I mean, if we have to stand for meetings, most likely those meetings will not be long. Yes. I will say this. I'm going to say this on behalf of employees. I'm going to say about team members. Yes, stand up first. Everybody, when your legs start aching, everybody realize that we need to hit the nail on the head.
Everybody's gonna end the meeting and yeah.
All right, but fantastic. So I want to ask the question. You mentioned something, and it just occurred to me that how can we be able to deal with distractions? Distractions are inevitable. How can we be able to deal with distraction and yet still stay consistent and productive when some of these distractions come?
I think again, you just, let me say, clock it, because your questions are just, hitting the right notes. Okay. So like you said, I mean, you rightly said it. Distractions are inevitable, but one of the ways to deal with distraction is to set up a system around yourself, a system that you yourself cannot flout. It's like you're bound. It's like an oath that you're bound to do this thing. Because when you do not set up a system, setting up a system, in one word, is about being disciplined. But you have an actual system in place. Now, let me put this thing in a, will I put it like in a relatable form? So let's say, oh, your salary hits your account. Now, trust me, I'm also a culprit to this. Salary hits the account. I'm thinking of plenty things I want to buy, especially food. I like food. I like good food.
You have a foodie in the building.
Trust me. So I'm thinking a whole lot of things I want to do with the money, but here is how, because practical, I want to practical and help, probably help a lot of people. So how do you put systems around your finances immediately your salary hits your account? Is that you have accounts that automatically withdraw from your salary account immediately drops. So let's say you have an emergency account and you've authorized your account that, okay, once you see money in this account, take it out. 10% of this money, take it out. So you're authorizing that whenever money is in this account, take out 20%, take out 10% of it. So imagine have different accounts. You have emergency accounts, you have different accounts for different things you want to do for yourself. So immediately your salary drops, those accounts automatically withdraws money from your salary account. And you see that whatever is left there is what you have to manage for the month. However you want to do yourself. If you want to go get pizza like me, go get ice cream, that's fine. And I did a both, you're left high and dry. So those are like building systems around you to avoid distraction. So now coming to tax, because that's what we do on a daily, you want to have a simple project management tool. It's like having your own virtual assistant, and we have a whole lot of them out there. I just mentioned one, which is Trello. It says it's very simple, not complicated, too simple to a fault, that you can have. So you need to load up your tasks. So you have your to-do, have a simple process flow to do what the things you intend to do today, and then you have another flow that says in progress, the things you're currently doing and done. It's as simple as that. We don't have to make make it complicated. And so that what that project management tool does for you is that once you put your tasks for the day, you put the time that you want to achieve those things, it sends you notification. So you've scheduled everything. It's like you load up everything in the system and it sends you notification. Like it prompts you and says, oh, if it's 2 p.m., it tells you just when you're expected to go take a nap at 2 p.m. and for 15 minutes. So those things prompt you, sends you notification, keeps you in check to be able to get your tasks, done. And another thing I think we should also do, which I do, is especially for a lot of people who work remotely and use some platforms like Slack, you want to be able to lock in. There are times when you want to put your status. You can even do it on WhatsApp. Heck, you could do it on WhatsApp. So you put your status in busy, and you know that for the next 1 hour, based on your schedule in your project management, so 1 hour is 1 hour. I mean, you're not picking up your phone, you're not scrolling, no app. You are locked in for 1 hour. So anybody who comes to your chat or your DM or on Slack says busy, or so putting relevant status help you build systems around you that forces you to comply and commit to what you have said you want to do.
Fantastic. Wow, thank you so much. I love when you brought about this. And oh, I don't use Slack right now, but yeah, I use WhatsApp. Perhaps we can stop. Yeah, we can stop. So I once asked this question, and I hope you grant me the audience these questions. While you were speaking, I just said, wait, can I take a peep into your life? And can you just let me know what does it look like, work related this time around? Like a day in the life of the Josephine Bosa. What's it like? Like you wake up, how are you able to do that? You're talking about system, and so some of us can be able to learn and just speak in something, or we are saying that you are doing personally. When you wake up, this is how you do it. Or it could be on a week level or a month level based on how you're going to break it into sprints. So let's have a real, just tell us it from your own end this time around. Yes.
Okay, so but realistically, a day in my life is chaotic. I'm just going to be realistic. but but here's how I try to navigate the chaos. So when I wake up in the morning, I have the system that I built around me. I call it the daily 311 system. Daily 311 system.
Sounds
So
like
what do I do?
Formation 3, 2, 1, 1.
Yeah. yeah. So it's something I made up, and I just found that it's working for me. So why not? Okay, so I call it the daily 311 system. What do I do? Every morning I wake up, I have a bunch of things to do. And in that bunch of things, I make sure that I draw out 3 outcomes that I want, 3 tasks that I want to achieve. So even if I have 20 things, 50 things that I want to achieve in a day, it doesn't matter. My 311 says I must prioritize 3 things that I must do, I must complete that day. So you remember, it also goes back to the things I say, doing small things and just achieving those little things. So that's my 3. Then my 1 is having one thing that is non-negotiable. Like, just if you fail at anything today, rain falls, there's no network, your laptop shuts down, this one thing is a non-negotiable for you. And then the other one is one reflection. So I have a reflect on the 3 things that I've said I was supposed to do. Did I achieve it? How was I going to go about it? The one which is non-negotiable, did I even act? So it makes you accountable to at least one thing. You can't be that bad. It can't be that bad that I don't get to achieve even one thing in a day. So that's how my daily 311 goes about. And do I have time to, relax and take naps? Yes. So because I work remotely, my day is saddled with meetings. As a project manager, agile project manager, you're always in meetings, you're facilitating most of those meetings. So one of the things I do is, once it is time for lunch, I do not try to quickly do something. We're always cutting web. Let me just quickly type this. Let me just quickly send this email. No, I don't quickly do nothing. I go quickly eat. I quickly go to eat. So, because the body that works the money has to be in good shape. All right. So I quickly go to eat because I need to be sane. I need to have clear eyes to see the tasks that I've set out to do. So I have nap time. So in between, yes, I mean, remote work affords you time to nap in between. So when it's time to nap, it could be as small as 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because one of the things about whether it's remote or not, we are all creatives. And you want to be in the right mental state to be innovative and to just bring the very best out of you. So sometimes we tend to overwork. It goes back to that busyness, doing the wrong things for the wrong reason at the wrong time. Okay. So when it's time to have lunch, please, in a day, map out that lunch. In 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, it is your lunch time, and you should have it. It's a should have. In fact, it's a must have in my prioritization technique. And nap times, okay, if you need to close your eye for a bit, you need it, because these are the things that lead to burnout. And once you're burnt out, every other thing that you're doing in the next couple of days, weeks, months just nosedives. And that's where you get to see people not being their best. So you don't need that. And I also have times where I get to stretch my leg. I could just take walks around the house, the compound, for just maybe say 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It helps me because you don't want to be at a particular spot at the same time. So for me, health is priority, just taking care of my body. So I do not compromise these times in between the work time of my 3-1-1 system that I've adopted.
Beautiful, right? I mean, I quickly go to eat. I quickly get the break.
Bro.
Three, one. And we had from Justin one thing that she would always do. And while you're speaking, just occurred to me that, oh, Shay, I think there's something you really need to do. And that has to be with staying true with the times that you've kept for certain things. And that's the times, okay, let me just quickly respond to this. We can be able to, and when we do that, and gradually that structure comes in and things begin to fit into what we already have, and we live a more organized life. Fantastic. I mean, I'm just checking it out. Like, oh my god, time is really fast spent, and I'm enjoying this conversation. I hope you can say the same, but it's really a conversation so far. And yes, a quick question I want to ask is: in his book, Brian Tracy, the book is titled "Eat That Frog," yeah, and that's where he talked about procrastination and all. So I wanted to know what your personal opinion about this is. He mentioned that when we want to start certain things, we need to start with the biggest frog first. Okay, the biggest frog. That means that activity, that task that seems insurmountable. That's what we need to go in first to do, so that way our energy is not depleted and all. What do you think about this, or what would you say in this regard? Yes.
Okay, so I may need you to come again with the last line. I think I missed that.
Okay, so I said, what would you say in this regard? So Brian Tracy teaches us that we should go ahead with the biggest stacks, the biggest frog. That's what we should eat first, and thereafter we can do other little things that come around. Is that a practice? Is that an agile practice that we should get used to as well?
So again, because agile is talking about small things, the big things. So for me, it's also knowing your capacity, what you can take on at a particular time. You need to know how much can Josephine do at this particular time. In the mornings, we're at our optimum level. For me, I'm still like a disciple of still doing the small things. It's okay. You need to also know your capacity. Okay, you know what? I'm good at doing the big things first, taking out the big things out of the way. So maybe for me, I'm going to switch the big things at the non-negotiables, which is my number one, my 3-1-1, that one, which is that one thing that is non-negotiable. So I don't know if it's big or small, but it's a non-negotiable for me. So it's a must do regardless of whatever that happens today. So yeah, I'm still a disciple of doing small things, but also prioritizing them and knowing what can be done later, what can be done now, and what can come next.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. And I think that's very simple to understand, simple to comprehend, and simple for us to put it into practice. So yes, everybody, see, Justin has said a whole lot, and I mean a whole lot. If we can put these things into place from the various principles she has shared, from her personal experience, from leading agile team, from her certification as a senior scrum master, and some of his practices she has been able to put into place, even as a coach, I think we can take some of these things into consideration. And trust me, gradually we'll be able to do these things one after the other. When I started, I asked an honest question: how many of us have to do from last week that are still there? Yes, we can start it off from there. A new week is about to begin. Getting and we'll have to do that. Okay, I want to bring this podcast to a close. I'm seeing the time already. I'm like, oh my god, our viewers are having a whole lot of value for their listening time. And just being this has been such an insightful and practical conversation with you. And I'm very sure that our listeners are. Procrastination is not just a personal flaw, not at all. It's just about the absence of maybe structure, like you've been able to identify while speaking, or clarity, and importantly, the right system. And these are things that you've been able to put our eyes and get us into that direction so that we can look into these things and be able to quickly get them sorted. Okay. And what I love most about this conversation is that you've shown us that productivity is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Yes, it's about working smarter with intention and also with structure. And that's productivity. And that really makes a whole lot of sense. Yes, saying that again, that makes a whole lot of sense where we have to work smarter with intentions and with clear structure for us. Thank you very, very much. And yes, this is to everyone who's listening to me right now. If you are waiting for the right time to start that course, you're waiting for the right time to build that skill, you're waiting for the right time to apply for that role or to work on that goal, this is your sign to stop waiting and for you to start structuring. Anything at all, you want to get into that course, then read, you want to read. There's no perfect time. Justin has told us already. We don't need to overthink. And many of us overthink, especially you, that you're intelligent. Then you realize that some people you think are not as intelligent as you are, they are doing it and it looks like they're doing it very well. But you're overthinking and waiting for that perfect time. So this is the time for you to go ahead and for you to get and do that. And at this point, I want to say thank you very much, Joseph. Thank you for sharing your expertise with every one of us today. It's really great to have you on this podcast. Thank you. I just want to give you, if you have a final word, something you want to tell us as we bring this to a close, I would want to hear. If you do not have, then I would gladly just wrap it up from here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been an honor having me here. So my final word is just do it. Okay, just do it. Be audacious. So audacious should be your mantra this year. Go ahead and do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Perfectionism is not the goal. Just get it done.
Fantastic. Perfectionism is not the goal. Just get it done. Just do it. Justin said this at the beginning, and now she's saying it again. She's reiterating that we need to just go ahead and do it. So thank you very much to everyone listening to us right now. If you found this episode of the podcast very valuable and insightful, I want to encourage you to share it with as many persons that you know need to see this, and so they can also move from procrastination to productivity. Until next time, please keep learning, keep building, and keep moving forward. My name once again is Significant Sheyi Oluwaseyi Odebode, and I'm very happy hosting this session on From Procrastination to Productivity with the one and only coach, Josephine Bosa. Till we come your way again. Bye for now.